Hey everyone. So this video I'm going to talk about a few different things. We're talking about sort of the early history of Pokemon, its first appearance in comics, and some proposed new first appearances for it. And just basically a fact check, if you will. But before we get into that, I'm going to tell you a little about myself and my own connection to Pokemon. In around 1996, 1997, 1998, I don't remember exactly when because I was very young at the time, my dad brought me a pack of Pokemon cards. My dad was in the military, and on one of his trips he came back. This pack was just called Pocket Monsters at this point. There had not been an English release of Pokemon. I just know I had this bag of cards. I was really happy. I opened it up and I pulled Giovanni's Nidoking, and I thought it was the coolest thing I had ever seen. Mind you, it was in Japanese and I had no idea what it was called at this point. But it was cool. I had it. I wanted more. And that's all I really knew. Fast forward a year or two, and we're taking a road trip. And my best friend at the time lent me his old big gray brick Game Boy and a game that had just come out called Pokemon Red. I didn't really know much about the game, but I knew it had a really cool dragon on the front of it, and that was enough for me. But anyway, on this road trip, we eventually arrived in California, and my cousins came and told me about this great new game that came out called Pokemon. I was playing the video game version, I showed it to them, but no, they were talking about the cards, and they gave me some cards. This right here is the only card I actually remember them giving me, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever. Why a Machoke, of all things, is what hooked me into Pokemon, but that's neither here or there. This is one of my earliest Pokemon memories, if you will. From that point on, they taught me about Charizard, and I was hooked. Basically, it's all history from there. So why am I telling you all this? I want you to understand that Pokemon is a personal thing to me. I'm not trying to push books here. I'm not pushing agendas. I'm not attacking anyone. But I am very passionate about the information that people share, and I want it to be factual. So with that, we're going to get into the point of this video. Alright, so that's enough screen time for me. Let's get into the meat of this video, the topic, if you will. Recently, someone proposed that these books were the first American comics featuring Pokemon. I looked at them, I recognized them both, and I instantly knew there was a problem with it. The poster proposed that the well-known app I'm not going to name's entry for Electric Tail of Pikachu was incorrect, that the November 1st, 1998 date was not the earliest appearance, and that these books dating to January 1st, 1998 predated them. If you know enough about Pokemon, you know that January date is actually super problematic. But let's get into it. The books in question are the American adaptations of Pokemon the First Movie and the mini short that aired with it, Pikachu's Vacation. Pokemon the First Movie and the short aired in Japan for the first time on July 18th, 1998. It was later released in the United States on November 10th, 1999. Now look at those dates. The book in question, an American adaptation of a Japanese movie, was supposedly released 6 months prior to the Japanese movie's release. That's super fishy. But we'll ignore that for a second. Let's dig even deeper into Pokemon. The original Japanese release of the games was February 27th, 1996. The games were Pokemon Red and Pokemon Green. Americans had to wait all the way until September 28th, 1998 to get the English counterparts, Red and Blue. Remember to look at that date. The Pokemon trading card game debuted shortly after the video games because they were a huge success. Japan got them in October of 1996, and the United States had to wait until December of 1998, though the official date is just 1999. Again, look at all those dates. Now let's look back at this new first appearance, toting a January 1998 date. You're trying to tell me the American adaptation of a Japanese movie that every kid in America wanted to see somehow predates the release of anything Pokemon in the United States. And the American showing of this movie would happen nearly 2 years after this comic was released. I want you to stop and think about that for a second. But fine, let's look at the actual books in question here. Nowhere is the month January present, In fact, the cover date presented isn't even actually a cover date, it's a copyright for Game Freak and likely the movie. This comic isn't really a comic either, it's actually sort of just screen grabs with movie dialogue placed on them. It's like a storyboard with a comic book filter placed on top. That's neither here or there. The dates on this book are all copyrights for essentially the movie, and this book has no cover date in the traditional comic book sense. But an educated guess would probably put it within a few months of the American release of the movies. Again, November of 1999. So where did this January date actually come from then? I think it's pretty simple. It's a database flaw. When you enter the comics or books into databases, they required a full date. And the book only has a year on it, and it's not a cover date, it's a copyright date. So what do? You add the earliest day of that year so that you can at least fill in the field to make the entry. It's a program and user error. Put frankly, these books don't have any significance other than being adaptations of one of the best Pokemon movies ever. If you're looking for early Pokemon comics strictly for an American audience, the Viz Media Electric Tail of Pikachu is a good one. You could also look at Nintendo Power 111, which was a magazine, but inside that magazine has a comic-sized book called Pokemon Power 1. This was essentially a strategy guide for the upcoming video games that people were excited about, but it also contained a mini comic featuring Pikachu. And the best part is it dates to August 1998, earlier than that other stuff. Again, I'm not really pushing books here. I don't really think any of it's a worthwhile investment, if I'm honest. But if you're a completionist and you're a hunter and you're a fan of Pokemon, why not look into all of it? I guess the point of this is if you're going to do your research and you're going to present that research to refute someone, make sure it's good research. Don't only look at wiki articles. Look at the primary source and look at the greater world of what you're looking at. That date never made sense. So maybe question it. Look at the primary material. That's all I really have to say on it. Hopefully this is helpful to someone. Again, this isn't really an attack on anyone, but I don't want misinformation misguiding people because that just leads to upset people, and we don't want that. So anyway, I hope you're all well out there, and take care.